Alright. I'll come in. Make sure everything's set up here. Alright. So good to go. So you just get the links out. Okay. Cool. And let's see. Cool. And of course, this one. Cool. Random. Cool. Alright. Let the word out. So, we're back again, making another coding stream. 2 streams in 2 days. It's crazy, right? Over here. And I've started this pretty much blank project. I have it's using Java 17 and it's using Spigot 1.12. I'm making an add-on for X-Prison. So I have Shadow here. I have Maven Local, Maven Central. We have the Spigot. Well, we have the Minecraft library for their authentication lib here, or library here, and then we have the Spigot repository there. Chip pack for X-Prison. This is for placeholder API. Doesn't seem. Hold on. Doesn't seem like you guys can hear the music. This OBS doesn't want to look at that. It doesn't want to show that you're hearing the music. So let me make sure it's actually playing here. . No, you guys should be able to hear. It's just really quiet, I think. Oh, alright, I think it's fine. If you guys can't hear it, let me know in the chat if anyone's watching. Anyways, we have here, obviously we have X series here. We have placeholder API, we have the X-Prison API, we have Spigot 1.12, we have the authentication lib, and then we have our normal default test implementations here. Normal test thing here. Here we have the manifest file here for the add-on for X-Prison to recognize it. And we have a relocation shadow jar task here. I might call minimize here as well. So that should be that. I think everything is imported correctly. I checked here. I can access X-Prison. I can access the, if I can type, I can access the player or Spigot API, and I can access the X material stuff there. Obviously, placeholder API works as well. Got it. So we're going to be working on a custom enchant creator that you can create enchants in like YML files, basically. So first things first, I want to get some utilities in here. Like we'll do a placeholder API utility class here, and then we'll do a configuration stuff here. I think, whoops, what I want to do here is set up like some of this stuff here, right? So I can have YML and my own JSON files here. So what I think I'm gonna do is just basically do all that. So I can say this here. It's just an interface. So maybe iconfig or something. Right, and then we just need the save, reload, and save changes method. Right, and of course we can copy this documentation too, right? So save saves the file to the server, and this one should load the file from the server into the file configuration. No, that's reload. This changes from the file configuration to a file on the server. Changes made to the file. Nope, dang it. The server. Reloads changes made to the file on the server to the file code. There we go. Alright. Now we can make a normal YAML config here. And this obviously implements this here. Implement those methods. That's all fine, right? So what we normally do for this is pretty simple stuff. We have the file path, we have the file, and we have the file configuration here. So we say file path, file configuration, right? There we go, just like that. I'm gonna change that so I'm not accidentally typing different letters quicker, because the profile is on for Minecraft has like different actuation settings on my keyboard, so if I could press a key lighter to move or something, but this one is all the same. Anyway, so we got the file path, we save, and we got to reload. Oh yeah, we should do this check here. Let's just copy all this. It doesn't matter. It's my own code. I can copy it. Okay, cool. And then options and file, right? All right, we need the data folder here, right? And for this, what we did was we check out this one again here. Copy what he did here. So I don't remember, even though I just did it yesterday. Data folder is a file, okay. And this is right here, right? Addon / data, simple enchants. There we go. And that will be our data folder. Now we can say public get data folder. There. Or perhaps we should just make this a string. The absolute path. Maybe. Now we'll just return the file. Alright, so now here, when we go to the file and this, we could say instance get data folder and then the file path there. So that'll create whatever YML file we want in this path here. So plugins X-Prison addons -data / simple enchant / whatever file path we put in here, including any folders we want. Alright, now to save, I'm just going to copy all this again. So this is saying, so we can't actually get the resources from the plugin because this is not a plugin, right? So we're gonna have to copy this again. So what he does is this. What we should be able to do is just go down here and say, what file get resource. Like that. And this should say, go here, put that in there, even though it should exist by this point. So now we can go through data folder file name, right? Right. And we need the resource. So let's call resource equals. What we do is we get this class, get resource file name, right? All right. Cool. And that should be good there. We can make this final here. And now we can say if the out file doesn't exist. Well, actually, this should just. Let's see. Well, what are we doing here? This is to save the resource to the server. Right. And this, I believe, does not just return a file, right? I think it returns an input stream. Can I pass a URL in here? Or can I do resource stream or something? Open stream creates that. The input stream, so perhaps that. Right, there was an exception. I can go here. Was an IO exception? Yeah. Don't need that, I don't think. So there is our resource. Sort of plugin. You can say resource file path. This was if it's null. Let me put this all in a try. God dang it. There we go. Okay. What's that? Right. We had a method to actually convert this, didn't we? Logger, throwable utils. Yeah, so let's copy this stuff, and then we can just get that. Right, now we can import all of this stuff. There we go. There we go. Now we can actually print out the stack trace. We can say, that's fine. You might not even need simple enchants prefix here. Okay, anyways, so that needs to go there, and I need to say, right, that's saying shouldn't matter because there's nothing else out here right now. Anyway, so we have the input stream. If it's null, we return yada yada. Right. Then I need to copy the save resource somehow. If I was to go into Java plugin here, since plugin base, is there a save resource? Yes. Here we go. So this is how it saves the resource here. The string resource path, boolean replace. So maybe I should do like in here, maybe one big utils here, and maybe I can just put this. No, I'll leave that. I'll put this just here instead. So then I can go here. Perhaps move that to here. And the data folder can also go there. And we can do actually like that, and we can make the constructor private. That means the data folder then would be like this, and we can go there, right? However, this is not static, right? So make that final. So what we need to do is say instance dot data folder, just like that. There we go. So now we don't actually need to get this in many other places. What we need to do is say, call it there to initialize it. But calling this here, get instance, will call new config utils once, and that will set the data folder. So that's why we need to initialize it there. Okay, and then we have get resource. Now we can save resource. And what they have is the string resource path. And we should replace it, right? So let's see. We have I have an if check here. What we could do is we could say so return there is empty. So if it's empty, then just return. Okay, and then so we can do this, right? That means this would have to be not final. Okay. Now we need an input stream, get resource from the path. Maybe what we should do is make this nullable, and then say, instead of throwing the exception here, try to return it, and then we catch this here, And we can just say no there. Or perhaps down there, and then we can do that there. Cool. We could even do a say boolean log current stack trace like that. Yeah, okay. Just like that, okay? And then we can obviously have let's say return get a resource file path, and the default will be true to print the stack trace. Now we have get resource, so now all we have to do here is check if it's null. And we can just return if it is. Or throw a new argument exception. Right, can be found in well, that doesn't make sense. So this is saying we found in this .file, and this .file is something. Files null. I'm not sure. Well, this passes in file, so I don't know. It's something to do with the plugins file or whatever. Whatever. What we could do is just, what we'll just do is just bucket warning. Right, there's warning and there's no actual error. I just realized. Let's use warning. Simple enchants, no embedded resource. Just like that. There we go. All good. Okay. All right. So that is good there. And you can return since we're not actually throwing an exception, so it won't return automatically. All right. Oh, I'm no longer in the Java plugin class. Right, we don't need to throw or catch this anymore. What we could do here is we could say config utils that save resource don't replace, just like normal. All right, so back down to the save resource here. We throw that, right? We did that. So, and then it returns. So now we're in this else statement here. The out file is data folder resource path equals new file. We'd say because we're already checking. We're not, so we should probably say I would say this here. Data folder and then resource path, right? Is that what we were doing? Well, this one, I think this is actually what it should be. This is... Oh, this is the one that's on the server. So yeah, it's a data folder and then the file path. So last index resource path 47. Huh, okay. What is it? Resource path last index of. And then it's 47. Alright. Out directory, data folder, substring 0. Okay. And this was again new file. Which was path substring. You start to 0, right? Last index greater than or equal to 0. So if it's greater than or equal to 0, then it will return the last index. Otherwise, it'll be 0. Yeah. And this has a warning because math. Okay, I get to math.max. Last index 0. Cool. Alright. Let's out directory so it doesn't exist. When we make it. Okay, why is this even here, right? If I can just, if we're, I don't know, we don't need it yet. Anyways, now we're gonna do it. So, we could say, if it exists and we're not replacing it, warning. We can say, would not save out file get name to out file to because it already exists. There we go, simple enough. We can do this to make it a bit more readable. And we can return. We don't need an else statement. So now we're in this else statement here. So we're gonna do an output stream. New file output stream is out file. Output stream. New file output stream. Out file. And this needs to be in a try. We can go up here and we can copy this one here. Paste it there. Got it. Okay, so we have the out file stream. So we need the byte buffer of 1024 size. Byte buff. What was it? New byte. Just like that. Got it. So the length. So while, okay. Would it start at 0, right? No, just wasn't defined, just declared. Oh my god. While the length equals in.read was in the input stream. That's this, right? And equals get resource. While resource read greater than equal to 0. All right. Or no, not greater than equal to, just greater than. Just greater than. Now the out.write buffer 0 length. Sorry, I'm buffer 0 length. Okay, and then we can say out.close and resource.close. There we go. Catching that exception. I think that's it. That's everything, I think. So we could try to use this to save our resources to the server. Just like we're doing here, configure save resource. Don't replace. Actually, I think this might log this out every time because it will exist and we're saying don't replace. Although we are, yeah, so we might want to remove that log. Maybe. Where's... Let's go ahead and copy this. And we'll say true by default. Log if it's this. If and we'll log that. Alright. That's good. We can say, oh my god. Why can I not type today? It's like, I just can't. Maybe I'm just tired. Place false, and we'll say don't log if it's just. So here's another thing I've been looking at. These are technically floating variables or whatever, floating values, magic values, whatever. So if this wasn't here, then you wouldn't know. So I think if I can say like replace, I can just say replace. I think that's what people technically want you to do, but I don't know if it's worth doing in this project. Right? Like this, it's better to understand what's going on here, but making variables and stuff. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, we got that done. Now we gotta go to the old... Where is it? Back. Go back. It's here. We need to do save changes. You can save the file configuration. Save file. Yep, there we go. Save changes is done. Now to reload, I'm gonna just use YAML configuration. I'm going to pass in the file method, which is up here. Returns a new file of the data folder file path. And I think this is done. Right? It's everything there for the YAML configuration. So now we can start working on the JSON stuff here, which is a bit more complicated. Let's do JSON utils here, and we'll just copy everything here. Go up, final. So, not null, JSON, some builder, do map, JSON object, hash map, come on, JSON element, JSON array, list. All right, that's good. Everything here is good to go. All right, now we need the JSON config and JSON configuration. So, JSON config. The file path, the JSON configuration, and the file. Alright. Yeah, we can make this not null as well. Oh wait, we're in the wrong one. We need to go to this one. This is the one that needs the JSON configuration, all that. What we do here is basically the same thing. Alright. This implements the iConfig that we made. Just like that. And it has the file method and the options here. You can say config utils data folder file path. This one has to end in JSON. So file. Oh yeah, it's just private. These ones can be final and private there. Yep, okay. So now our save method is pretty much the same. Looks like. But obviously we need to really should just copy this stuff here. I don't know, exists, return. There we go. So obviously, I guess I overlooked this part right here. So if it already exists, then it won't do anything. So that should be fine, actually. Don't actually need this log of exist method, but we'll keep it. So save changes. This one's a bit different here. We actually have two methods here. All right, there we go. Edit option, IO exception, files.write, truncate. So all we need is the JSON configuration to get map, and we need to log this properly here. Morning. Just like that. And then save changes will default to false truncate, so you won't accidentally truncate the file if you don't want to. And then reload, also a little bit different here. So you're setting the map from that. And then like that. All right, so now we just need to fill out JSON configuration. So in here, we have the map of data or objects or whatever. Well, it's not that, but it's not no string object data. Right, we just call it map here, I guess. Do the same. And this is public. New hash map. We have set map and get map. Pretty simple stuff. These are also package private or protected. So these two methods here can only be accessed from any class in this package here, configuration package, which includes the JSON config class. All right, now we have the set and all this stuff. I'm definitely gonna copy all of this because this is a lot to retype here. Yeah. Contract. Nullable. Pull down. List. All right, array list. Collections. And that's it. All right. Everything should be good there. JSON config, no errors here. We're good there. Okay. YAML config's done. All right, so we have our configuration stuff here. So I think this whole package here is pretty much done. So I don't want to worry about this yet, but let me actually just put this back in configuration. All right. So we're gonna need enchants here. So every, I'm gonna call it simple enchantment, and this will be the base class for all of our enchantments. This will store a config, so it'll have a config, and how do I want to do this? Because I want them to be made in a YML file, but you need a JSON file pretty much for X-Prison to recognize it, right? So question is, how do I want to call that, right? Public config, or maybe we just say string name. All right, and then config new YAML config. We say enchant slash name data new JSON config, and we say data slash plus name, and then that'll add .yml and .json to it by default. There we go. Now we have those, and these will generate automatically. We just need to populate the data file with all of the attributes and whatever. So normally, if we look into like here, enchants, like autosell, for example, has the class, which could be interesting to do, and it has an ID. So we also need the ID here. So let's make a example enchantment here. So I'm gonna say ID is 100. All right, and I'm gonna say, what else do we need? We need the raw name, name. This can have color code, so I'm gonna say that increase cost by max level 5 max levels chance is 10%. Sure. Initial cost, we could say 100 tokens. Right. Pickaxe level, let's say 0. Messages, sure, we could probably not. That's probably specific for that. So then I would say refund. Options here. Through, you can refund it. For example, let's just say, I don't know. We'll have to check that. This one's 34%, 40. %, right? We're gonna have other GUI settings, name, sample. Slot. I don't know. Let's just do 41 for these. I have no idea. Description. A simple custom enchant example. Simple enchant example, right? Cool. And this will be the basic settings here, or maybe we can keep this stuff in the JSON and then have like actions and stuff in here, or maybe we could just keep it all in the JSON file. I don't know. Honestly, we could just do that, to be honest. And we can keep YML for actual configuration stuff. And we just have enchantments there, right? Right, and then let's just copy all this stuff. Class is interesting because we can't set the class here automatically. We'll have to figure that out somehow. Class is very interesting. How are we gonna make that work? I don't know. Let's just keep it like for now. ID 100. Example. Let's just say again 41. Alright, there you go. This will be our configuration, obviously, and that means we need another thing here, for example, actions. And here we can have our different stuff that we want the enchants to do, right? So maybe maybe we could say maybe up here we could say type, say block, and then equip, right? So we'll type up there. Or maybe we can put this like down here. So it's like, oh, this is our custom settings for enchants. And then this stuff is all the normal stuff you'd expect in an enchant. An enchant. And we're not going to have chance here, so it could be block and equip. Because if we have chance up here, then we'll have the as a chance enchantment. Although technically every enchantment I create can implement a chance based enchantment. It could just return 100% if chance isn't here. Anyways, so actions here, we're gonna have we can say I want to make this simple for now, so just make this config here. Alright, so that's gonna be that. Simple, easy. And we could say like 1 and chance 50%. How do we want to do this? How do we want to call this? Call it code? I don't know. Runnables. Runnable. I don't know. Runnable, sure. And actions down here. This can be list of strings. And we could say, message. Hello. player name. And then we can say tokens. You got 100 tokens. Simple enchantment. Or you can just say that, right? So this is a 50% chance to run this action here. And this action can have multiple things going on here. I think that could be what we do here. The simple enchantment, you can extend enchantment base, implements chance, and it's base enchant. What does this need? A config file. Well, that's a shame because that's what we're doing here. Right. Well, that would be helpful if it was, I don't know. So what if we just did this? And then we can have a non-abstract enchantment. Huh. Right. Let's see. I don't want to call it. Can I do new? Can I do this? Looks like I can. My problem, this is private, so I think. Has to be a file, right? And that's, that's fine. We can go here, we can say get file. We just have a get file method. That returns a file, not a new file. And this is abstract, so it can't be implemented. Maybe I can just extend this in another. I'm gonna have to extend this in another class. That's what I'm gonna have to do. Enchant wrapper, or maybe enchant wrapper. So we'll implement whatever methods here. So this will also have that config file there, and then this, say, enchantment. Alright, so there we go. And I'm gonna say an author thing. Hello, welcome in. Welcome in. How are you doing today? I want to put an author field here, so people can put in their own username there. And yeah, so we can say that. And is this Can this be null? I think so, right? Empty string. Alright. And this can return author. There we go. So now they can put their own name as the author of the enchantment. And it's right down here, right? I don't need the type or whatever. This is loading the author from the config file. That's fine. This is a custom property, technically. Speaking of which, we could also load our actions and stuff here as well, but I don't know. I think I want to do everything in here, maybe. I'm not sure. Because this is the as an enchantment base. Right? But the only reason I did the wrapper is because I didn't want to have to I'm making the file here. And I can't put this line above a super. Wonder. Hmm. No, I don't. That's not how it works. So I don't know. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? In our config, we have our actual enchant right here. And that handles the author automatically, which is good, but it's what we want. But then we also need a way to get our actions in the actual enchantment. Right? Alright, this is not looking the best here. Okay, here's what we'll do. Let's do that, and then we'll just extend this. Again, of course. And we'll just have to say super. We'll just have to do that. Okay. That'll have to be that. And then we don't need the wrapper. So there's that. We will get the author, but we don't need the custom properties for that since we have our config. There we go. See, that's fine. I know why he added this. It's very useful when you're just making custom enchants, but like, I already have the config in my case. I'm already loading stuff if I need it. Or everything's already loaded, technically. So I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with this. Maybe just move this down. Sort turn author. Don't need to unload anything. So, I think we want... Ooh. Right, so which type of enchant do we want is the next question. Wait, we should be able to implement both of them. Implements block break enchant. Chance base. Let's do chance base here. Block break enchant and equipable enchant. Yeah. Implement all of those here. So this is simple. All we need to say is let's move this up above that one. On an equip, on unequip, that we don't need type here. We can just have it down here, right? So chance type block. And what else I wanted was So we'll execute one of these, right? This is the chance for this one to execute. And this is how it gets executed. No. I want this to... Alright, let me just copy this and then get rid of this. And we'll say run. And we'll say another one of these basically. Alright. And this one will have type. This is already getting a little messy here, but you know, let's run. So what I'm trying to do here is when we're gonna have a list of executables, and this is one executable. So whenever this one gets called, it has a 50% chance to get called. So whenever it does get called, it'll run everything in the run block. However, I also want these runnables here to be picked at random as well. So one of these will get picked at random, and one of these will get picked at random. Does that make sense? That way, one of these, for example, that way if this one gets picked, then it'll have like every runnable will get ran if it makes that chance. Meanwhile, only one of these will get ran. So one executable gets ran, every runnable gets ran if it makes that chance. Although actually, okay, this might not work because of the type here. Here's what we'll try again. Right, so we want to say block on block break. We'll say that. Alright. So when they break a block, then we'll say give tokens or something, right? And then we'd say actions give tokens. You've got 100 tokens. And this one can have a chance 50%. You say 100 tokens. Or rather tokens 100. Give tokens 100. Okay, and then we can copy this. Give tokens 200. 200 tokens from a simple enchantment. Give tokens 500. We can change this to 250. So this will have a 100% chance. And then this will have a 75% chance, and this will have a 25% chance. We can make a jackpot of 1,000 tokens at 1% chance. Right. So this is my enchantment. So on block break, it will run one of these. Right. So, and this won't, because this one says it's a 100% chance to run. It's actually a 100% chance to run if the enchant gets procced, which has a 10% chance of proccing. So that's what it'll be. Okay, and then we can do an on equip as well. On equip, and then we can also have on unequip, which will do the same thing pretty much. Then you just say ready your pickaxe. 100% chance to execute. Again, however, this will only proc if the enchant does. So maybe... Maybe we should remove this chance. And actually, because this... Nothing about the custom enchants loads that chance by itself. Like, even in the custom enchant example here, you actually had to read it from the custom properties or whatever. Right, he has base chance, and then you get that from the config. Although this one's base chance. So maybe that is loaded. I don't know, it should be fine. So what we can do is we can go get a chance to trigger. Alright, and then this can run, so on block break, I'm gonna say tokens. Okay. Give tokens, and then we can say chance 100%. Okay, and then we could say rewards, and then we could put all of these in there. Right, now that makes sense to me. So on block break, have a 100% chance to give tokens. And the amount of tokens it gives depends on the rewards that you have set up. So it'll have a 100% chance to give 100 tokens, or 75% chance to get 250 tokens, or 25% chance to get 500 tokens, right? And then on equip, so equipped, say message with a 100% chance to run that. That means rewards needs to have the actions down here. Lowered. Alright, so this is my enchant setup for the config file. It looks quite complicated, but it changes to raised. So basically what's happening here is whenever we equip the pickaxe, it'll run this with a 100% chance. So because this chance is 100, it'll always run this when you raise your pickaxe or equip it. And then that will run one of these rewards, which we only have one, which is equipped. Right? And honestly, we could probably move these up above so that it's more clean. It's right there. We could probably even space these out a bit. Right. The only thing I don't like about JSON is all the nesting, but it's fine. So the basic X-Prison settings, we have our custom settings down here. All the way down there. So there we go. So we can go here. Author, we can load. So here we want, what do we call it? We can call these, what do I want to call them? That's my problem that I'm having trouble thinking of. Like, what do I want to call these part of the config here? So message, chance rewards, equipped. Right, like this. My comment. Not really. Can't really comment in JSON, I don't think. Anyways, this should be maybe container. Enchant container. Action container or reward container. I don't know. That's just what I'm gonna go with for now. And then this has a chance. We want to pass in the config and the ID of this container. So chance equals config get double. Oh, we also need the type. So we can go. There's already an enchantment type. No, so we'll make our own. So this enum will simply say block break equip unequip. Okay. And now we will say okay, and here we'll say on block break unequip on unequip. There we go. Now we can use this to pass in here. Type. So now we could say type ID let's say that in case. And I don't know where. Dot chance, or actually dot chance, and we can default it to 100 if I don't. Oh, there you go. Okay, so it's a chance for this one to run. Double get chance. Okay. Okay, and this container, this is the container, has a chance, and now we need the rewards. Or runnables, whatever. Double chance. Basically, we're just gonna be kind of doing the same thing here. The type plus ID plus dot. So we got reward dot this one. So we have onequip dot reward container dot rewards dot ID, and then now we can just go here and say path plus chance. And then this will store the actions as well. path plus dollar actions. You can say it's a new array list if it's empty or doesn't exist. Here we go. This should be done, and then the reward container itself, we need lists, enchant action container, enchant action containers. So get section. We want this. Path plus. Or actually, this should just be path, right? So get this section under. No. It has chance there. It would need to be dot rewards. There we go. This is the section, and now we could say for each. Go up here, enchant new array list, new config type. What else do I need? ID, action container ID. Alright, there we go. That'll populate our list here. No list, enchant action container, get, return. I want this to be a new. We say public void run, and then this will run all of these. So we say public. So this will run those. Okay. The thing is, we're gonna have to change this list to like a randomized map or something. But for now, I think we made a lot of progress. I think I'm gonna end stream here. It's a shorter one today, but we still got quite a bit done. I'm gonna be honest, I'm just kind of tired. I'll keep working on this because it should be fun. Let's see. I don't know. We'll be back though, for sure. Yeah, because this. So what we got here is this will. It's a simple enchantment. Currently, it's not loading any of these reward containers, but we need our own list here. Private list, enchant, reward container, rewards, right? So then we'll load this. On block break. Rewards, add new enchant reward container, and then we'll say enchant config enchant type dot block break reward ID, and that'll add there. But then we also need one for our equip and unequip too. What we should do here is just say this for each one of these rather than passing in that string. However, we would also want a map instead, right? So a map of enchant type list of rewards. You say, and then we could put, we actually would need this to be like that. Block break. We'll get a new array list. Yeah. And then here we'll say list.add. And then we'll say rewards put a list like that. So that way we're populating this list here. With block break. Whatever. I'll just copy all this again. Oh yeah, actually we should have this outside of it. Not... Okay, why is that have to be different? We shouldn't actually do this, we should put this up here. Reward list equals this, right? And then here, reward list, and then there, and we don't need this, actually. That way it's doing less strain, it's not getting a new list or whatever every time. We're just getting the list, we're populating it from out here, and then we're good to go. Although this means that this can't be final. Because it's a for each loop. So this has to be final, which means we're gonna need... We can't reassign this, which is what I kind of wanted to do. Just watch, but make it not final. Oh. This is not... Is that fine? I don't know. Anyways, let's do you here. It's already defined in the scope. Right. Yeah, now, see, it has to be final. So that means I just need to... It's just set of strings, right? Section. Node ID section, and then we could put that here instead. Okay, this is a lot to go over, a lot to do here. The rewards put, and then reward list again, put equip, and then we have to make this a for loop too now. Section equals this. You already have Just have to put here. Okay, and then I will just copy this and paste it because I don't want to have to do all that again. There we go. Okay, now we're doing that 3 times now. Although we could do load rewards. And we could just put this in here. And then we can load them there. Okay. Alright. Don't need to unload any of this because if it does unload, this should just get destroyed effectively, I think. Alright, so I think we'll just do that. Okay. Just in case reward site clear. Alright, cool. So that should be loading everything for us. And then this automatically loads, this automatically loads these. The only thing I have to change is make this list into a thing that I can get chance for and all that, like a weighted list or whatever, which I can do. I do have a class for. I just don't want to have to do that right now. So let me make a to do here. Make the enchant reward container into a into a weighted list. And same thing here. Actually, this. Let's see. Chance. Whoops. This. Okay, we also need to make the rewards value a weighted list. There we go. So this list here needs to be a weighted list, and then this list here needs to be a weighted list, which we can do next time. So again, thank you all for watching. We didn't do a whole lot, but we did get still quite a bit done, you know. We got quite a bit done, but there's still ways to go, is what I'm trying to say. A lot of the basic setup, but not a lot of necessarily, I don't know, flavor or whatever. Maybe these final. You got the bones, you don't have the meat. I don't know, analogies, you know, whatever. But we'll get there. We'll get there for sure. So, yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube. We're trying to get more subs, and I am trying to be more active in general with streams. So yeah, subscribe to the YouTube to get notified whenever I go live on YouTube. You can follow the Twitch to get notified whenever I go live on Twitch as well. I go live on both platforms at the same time every time. The only difference is YouTube streams in 144p while Twitch only streams in 1080p. So if you want higher quality, you can come over to YouTube. If you don't mind it, you can stay over on Twitch. I guess, you know, with their chat features or whatever. It's whatever you prefer. And my VODs are permanent on YouTube, and they disappear after some time on Twitch. That's all I can say. That's the main difference. So if you ever want to watch a previous live stream, come on over to my YouTube. They're all under my live tab. I have tons of coding streams already there, and I have quite a few game streams that I've done. And my Discord, you can find that on my YouTube homepage and my Twitch homepage. You can come chat and all that. And that's about it, besides mentioning the Patreon and the Ko-Fi, but that's whatever. Yeah. So I will see y'all next time. Again, thanks for tuning in. And thanks for watching. See you next time.